In the ancient land of Macedon, beneath the towering shadows of Mount Olympus, a child was born in 356 BCE who would change the course of history. His name was Alexander. To some, he was a military genius. To others, a ruthless conqueror. But all agreed he was great. Alexander was born in Pella, the capital of the Macedonian kingdom, to King Philip II and Queen Olympias. His mother believed he descended from Achilles, the legendary warrior of Troy, and raised him to believe he was destined for greatness. His father, a brilliant and ruthless king, forged a powerful army and unified the Greek city-states under Macedonian rule. But young Alexander wasn't just any prince. At age 13, his father hired the greatest mind of the age, Aristotle, to tutor him. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander studied philosophy, science, poetry, and politics. But what truly ignited his spirit were the tales of Homer's Iliad, especially the exploits of Achilles, his hero, his role model, his destiny. Even as a teenager, Alexander showed signs of extraordinary courage. At just 16, while his father waged war elsewhere, Alexander crushed a rebellion and founded a city, naming it Alexandropolis, his first of many. At 20 years old, tragedy struck. King Philip was assassinated, possibly with his wife Olympias' secret blessing. In the chaos that followed, Alexander seized the throne, but he wasn't welcomed with open arms. Rivals within and beyond Macedon doubted the young king. So Alexander acted swiftly. He executed dissenters, crushed revolts, and marched south, forcing the Greek city-states to reaffirm their loyalty. In a chilling show of power when the city of Thebes rebelled, Alexander destroyed it completely, sparing only temples and poets. The message was clear: defy Alexander and be erased. With Greece under control, Alexander set his sights on the mighty Persian Empire, the largest the world had ever seen. A kingdom so vast it stretched from modern-day Turkey to India. His father had dreamed of conquering it. Alexander would finish the job. In 334 BCE, he crossed the Hellespont into Asia with 40,000 men and a burning desire to make history. At the Battle of Granicus, he met the Persian army and won. Then at Issus, he faced Darius III, the Persian king himself. Outnumbered, outgunned, yet Alexander's bold tactics and a fearless cavalry charge straight at Darius sent the Persian king fleeing. With each victory, Alexander claimed new lands: Syria, Phoenicia, Egypt, and new titles. In Egypt, he was hailed as a liberator and declared the son of the god Amun. There, he founded a new city, Alexandria, a beacon of learning and culture for centuries to come. In 331 BCE, the final blow to Persia came at Gaugamela. Darius fielded a massive army with war elephants and scythed chariots. But Alexander's strategy was flawless. Once again, Darius fled. Soon after, he was assassinated by his own men. Alexander declared himself the new King of Kings. Now, with Persia under his rule, you might think he would stop. But Alexander was just getting started. He pushed eastward into modern-day Afghanistan and Pakistan, fighting brutal guerrilla wars and building cities as he went. His army, weary and longing for home, followed, driven by loyalty, fear, and the magnetism of a man they believed was invincible. In 326 BCE, Alexander reached the edges of India. There, at the Battle of the Hydaspes River, he faced King Porus and the famed Indian war elephants. It was one of his hardest battles, but again, he won. Impressed by Porus's bravery, Alexander made him an ally, not a prisoner. But glory came at a price. Alexander's army, exhausted and disillusioned, finally refused to march further east. With a heavy heart, he turned back, but the journey home through the Gedrosian desert cost thousands of lives. Disease, thirst, and exhaustion ravaged his ranks. Back in Babylon, Alexander began planning new campaigns, perhaps Arabia, perhaps beyond. But something had changed. He was no longer the idealistic boy seeking glory. He had become a god king, wearing Persian robes, demanding worship, and growing paranoid. In 323 BCE, just days after a grand feast, Alexander fell ill. Fever consumed him. For days he lay silent, and on the 10th of June, at just 32 years old, Alexander the Great died in the same city where he had once declared himself ruler of the world. His death sparked chaos. With no clear heir, his empire fractured, torn apart by his generals. But Alexander's legacy lived on. More than 20 cities bore his name. His conquests spread Greek culture across 3 continents. He reshaped the ancient world in just over a decade. Even today, over 2 millennia later, we remember him not just as a warrior, but as a symbol of ambition, brilliance, and the eternal hunger for greatness. He wept, they say, because there were no more worlds to conquer. He was Alexander, not just of Macedon, but of legend.